Welcome to This Organic Life. Martin, I'm here. Where we're uniting.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Thank you. You know, I see you once a year, always at this time. And up there is your favorite spot. Is that where it is?
Right there.
Right there?
The West Hill.
That's where you walked last time for my birthday. We did a little nature walk there.
Yeah, I'm up there pretty much every day. It's like my second office.
It's amazing. What I love about Hawthorne Valley is you guys incorporate every part of farming and education and existing as a human in one place.
It's a nice picture. One tries to work with that image and keep everything in balance, and includes the land, the animals, and also the people. Don't always get it exactly right. You know, it's difficult work. Farming in general is not an easy vocation, and it's not getting any easier with the changing climate. But that is the starting picture, and I think it's always important. What is the frame? What's the imagination you're actually working from? Because then you're at least hopefully moving in that direction. We are on a changing planet, and we had 14 or 15 inches of rain in July this year. So how does that affect the pastures? How can the cows go out or not when the ground is so soggy?
I can tell you, whenever I come here, I get so excited about eating everything because you emotionally feel fulfilled and nourished when you eat the food here.
When I'm in a store during the summertime, and I can essentially have all my food produced by people I know, the nourishment that comes from that relational aspect exceeds the nutritional value of the food. There's something that stands behind that there's a relationship. It's not just a transaction, it's actually based in relationship, it's transparent. I know who the people are. I know that I'm supporting them and their families, and they're supporting my well-being.
You guys have been around since '71. It's your 50th anniversary this year. Has it evolved?
A lot of what we're trying to do has been practiced by indigenous cultures around the world forever. So for us to say we're doing something new would be not giving credit to those who came before us who had this relationship to the land.
When you pay attention to the history of the land, you realize how alive and how constantly changing it is.
We're becoming more aware as a species that some of our practices for the last 100 years or so have taken us into places that are, don't have a long-term view in mind. So we need to come back or go forward into something that has more resilience and sustainability in it. We're trying to navigate the COVID phenomenon and the climate, and I think a lot of our conversation now has to really shift towards supporting the farm and the farmers. If it's just tied to like market expectations, we're not on a level playing field, and it's completely unfair to any conscious farmer who's trying to really steward land in a particular way. You can't just base it on this kind of false cost accounting market BS. I shouldn't say BS. I have nothing against bullshit. It does. Yeah.
There's different kinds of shit we love.
Yeah.
We love that shit.
So,
I mean, what is the vision for a farm to be profitable?
what do I determine as return of value? What's the return on my investment? Is it just financial? Am I really psyched every quarter to look at a bigger number on the bottom of my balance sheet? Well, how does one define or constitute wealth? Well, that's a different story. And how I define wealth, I'm in the 1/10 of 1%. I'm one of the wealthiest people. Look at this.
It's not just the local economy, it's you can create these local cultures. Like what you're doing in Hawthorne is rethinking capital and understanding there's different forms of capital.
Part of our picture of the economy is if you're fortunate enough to generate a surplus, part of that should just go right back into culture. because culture is the engine. And whether it's education, whether it's research, all of the new ideas that are going to propel us into the future in the right way are cultural in nature, and they need support. I would love to introduce you to Todd, who has a background in agriculture and biodynamics.
That was a little bit of a messier part of the farm, and it's rained recently. And when it rains, now it rains like 2 inches, I guess, at a time. This is kind of where we create our compost. Behind us in this shed, you'll see this is a lot of the clean out, a lot of food waste, a lot of materials just kind of get stocked and put in there. And then eventually what we do is we build windrows over in that area. And you can see the covers on them. If the windrows sit exposed just to the rain, they'll get really saturated and become somewhat acidic. They will break down, but in a much slower way. With the covers, what we do is we'll uncover them, we'll toss them around a little bit, put some oxygen in the pile, recover it, and try and keep temperatures higher in the piles, and those temperatures help to eradicate weed seeds or disease. A lot of our material that in the vegetable operation, we put it out in the fall. We try and put it in front of a cover crop. So we're trying to build our soil through compost applications and cover crop rotation. And that gives the compost a good amount of time to be incorporated, let a crop grow that we're then gonna like knock back. And then eventually in the next season at some point, we'd put vegetables in it. So we don't even try to use our compost as like right in front of the vegetable crop.
You put compost on that cover crop to let it really sit, to be on the land for longer, essentially.
Yeah, we're kind of feeding that cover crop so that it's mature and we get its major benefits from it. You know, it's not just holding the land in place, it's also adding organic matter. If it's a legume, it's adding nitrogen. You know, we're trying to replicate natural systems in this thing that we've created where we open this ground up and constantly grow food that we take off. The vegetable ground, because it's open often when we put it in vegetables, and because we're taking a lot of food off of that ground, really calls for a lot more care than something like the grassland, where we could probably do a smaller application of compost and it'll be super happy. One of the basics of biodynamics is trying to create this inward kind of self-feeding circle, right? It's really looking at your land base, at how that land works, trying to pick the appropriate amount of animal life to live on that land that can then also kind of self-feed it when it comes to its own fertility and its own health. And that's a really tough balance, but that's an ideal that the biodynamic farmer is always striving towards. When I've seen like freshly composted fields or really healthy looking fields that are doing well, the food just grows a lot better. The ground holds moisture better. It's, in a sense, somewhat more resilient. The less we're like trying to funnel what that plant needs into the row, whether we're side dressing with fertilizer or pumping water out there constantly. Sure, we could probably get that plant to grow faster, but it might not taste as well as one that's really set its roots deep and has utilized all aspects of the soil in a well-balanced soil, and that's what we're really striving for.
When did this baby get born?
Yeah, so this baby was born this morning, I think around 7:30. This is Bertha, and she is a first-time mom. For female cattle, they're not called a cow until they have a baby, so they're called a heifer. So she is a heifer who is now a cow because she's had her very first offspring.
Oh my God, congratulations,
Yeah.
Bertha.
And as a dairy cow, this is when she would be coming into milk for the first time and now join our barn with the other dairy cows.
This is a big day for Bertha.
It is a big
A
day.
lot of big things happening. What are you gonna name the baby?
That's a good question. I think it's a little bull, so it'll kind of depend on the future of this animal. If we're keeping him as like a replacement herd bull, he would have a name, and when we name the calves, we like to name them with the first letter of their mother's name. So her name is Bertha, so this calf's name would start with a B, and that way we kind of can track their family trees, if you will, in the herds. We have like an L line, an A line, a V line.
So I'm holding the placenta. Tell me what these are called again.
Yeah, so this is the placenta, which comes out after the mom has had her calf. And you can see the light shining through these dark kind of globs. And these are called placental cotyledons. When this is in the body holding the calf, it connects to these little places in the uterus. They kind of act as these suction-y cup things. And so during gestation, while the baby's growing, that's how like blood flow and nutrition and oxygen transfer between the mom and the baby. And then once the baby is born, the body knows to kind of let go of that placenta. And so these kinds of suction-y cup things let go, and then the placenta just comes out on its own.
Some people actually want to, they believe like, the placenta has a lot of nutrients in it. Some people put it back in the earth to fertilize the land. What do you guys do with it here?
So often the cow will eat her own placenta, and we try to encourage that for those reasons you just said. I think the animals that eat it, for nutritional benefits, but probably it's somewhat instinctual to like clean up the birth site to keep predators away. So sometimes the cows do it like they just go for it. They eat it, the whole thing, and then some don't show any interest in it. So once it's fully passed, we'll leave it next to her calf to see if she'll eat it, and if she doesn't, it'll just go in the compost, so it will go back to the earth.
So on some farms, they'll do bottle service for the babies, right? But do you guys do that here?
We only do that sometimes if a calf is sick, or the mom, say she was sick and couldn't stand up or whatever. Before we would put her on a nurse mom, we would probably bottle feed it just to get it through those first few days. But the goal is definitely to have it with the cow.
It's
Want me to hold that tail, or?
No, it's cool. Okay. I mean, if anything, it's a nice like wake up
It's a really
call.
white coat you have on. I'd hate for it to change that.
Everyone loves a white coat with a dash of red on it,
Yeah.
a dash of placenta on it. This is the beauty of having these animals on the farm. With education being so important to Hawthorne, it's like we were just walking, you called us over.
Oh, yeah.
And imagine being a child to see
Oh, they get so excited.
a farm is so much about life and death and that whole cycle.
A reality in this room, this bull over here is named Loon, and he's been lame for quite a while now, and we're not sure if he's going to be able to recover. Unfortunately, that does happen, and if he won't recover, we'll probably have to put him down. And so in this space is an animal potentially on his way out. Here's a cow coming into her prime of life, and then a brand new baby. And then on that note, this is a bull. So it could be very well as this herd bull goes out, here comes this new life. We're not necessarily making that decision yet, but those are things we have to think about all the time when raising animals.
Everything has its place and purpose. It's a beautiful...
Oh.
Did she walk?
He's working
Billy
on it.
Beyoncé.
He'll probably stand up. I think that's what this calf's name is, actually.
Yeah, Billy Beyoncé's got to
Billy
get into
Beyonce.
formation, get his legs up,
Probably
show us
Billy
what's
B
up.
for short.
Billy B. That's a
Billy
good
B,
one,
that's
yeah.
a good one, actually.
It's been tough, like last year, it was super hot and a drought, so the grass didn't really grow that well. And then this year it's been super wet. If it's too wet, we can't put them outside because they'll do too much like erosion and everything on certain pastures, so.
You're producing less milk if you can't.
Get them to the pasture, where the grass is and everything, so.
What do you attach eventually to?
Their udder?
Yes.
The machine itself. So now that I got all the machines up and everything, we'll go over to Maggie here. She's the first cow.
Maggie, first in line.
Yep.
Lucky girl.
So right now what I'm gonna do is strip her out, and that is just to get anything that's like built up in the udder. So I'll do each quarter because the cow has 4 teats on each udder. All right, I'm gonna wipe her off now.
Okay. Jesus.
All right, so now the milk's getting sucked through into the line and then eventually into the tank.
So how much does one cow actually produce of milk?
It depends, where they are in their life cycle and, again, how the pastures are doing and everything. But anywhere from 5 to 10 gallons.
Whoa.
So, but some cows are less than that, some cows are more than that.
That thing looks like a crazy octopus tentacle milking thing. The soil really is the magic key card to everything, that it's good for you and tastes good.
Yeah, no, it really starts there, and essentially we're just grass farmers, because that's the most important.
And so why is it that so many dairy farms shut down? Like, it's hard for farms to maintain a dairy production.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it is, people are changing their diets. Unfortunately, cows are getting a bad rep for producing too much methane. It's more of like how we're doing it. A lot of these big farms require so many inputs and resources. Tractors, shipping the milk, moving it, all that is playing into it. If there was a lot more smaller farms, regionally located and everything, I think we'd have a lot better shot at it, but that's not really what the trajectory is going on, so.
I'm sure it's also just like the cost of maintaining a dairy farm is so high.
It doesn't get any easier. Everything's getting more expensive. It's hard to stay afloat when you're only getting by so close from before.
Yeah.
So yeah, the cows are definitely like the main centerpiece, but it all kind of goes together and we try to make it work.
I got a Hawthorne hoodie, so like now I have all these cows on my sweatshirt.
Yeah,
They're
you're good
famous.
to go. Represent.
Always. Bye.
All right,
Thank
see
you.
ya. You're welcome.
Want to get something to eat?
Yes, I'm so hungry, Martin.
Put on my mask. Like a burglar.
You know what's what?
Just get a kraut,
Oh, you know what I want is the kraut juice.
spicy turmeric.
Oh,
kimchi.
spicy turmeric.
Yeah, bring that out. We'll do gut shots.
I love taking gut shots.
I'm just gonna get a cheese, and then we'll get some bread.
Okay.
And then we have like a little bit of Hawthorne Valley.
Cute.
Large producers couldn't get their product processed because the processors shut down because of COVID illnesses, and people were slaughtering pigs and dumping milk, and it's a crazy perilous system when you just even get the slightest disruption. How can we minimize that and have some resilience in the system that if there's disruption in one place, you can kind of meet the demand in another way because you're not putting all your apples in the one basket.
It's the people coming together, deciding let's work together. It's people coming together saying, how do we evolve, or what do we have in front of us to work with? Rethinking capital, where if you think, okay, you know what, it's not just money that's important. If I consider community to be important, collaboration, changing of a culture, if that's just as important, then yeah, I'm gonna value working with my competitors, because those other forms of capital will make me richer than just thinking, oh my God, there's only so little money out there. We all have to fight for it.
Right, the limited pie. Oh my God, this piece is getting smaller. How important it is for local people to have agency in determining their future. Like, it shouldn't be multinational corporations doing that for them. That's what we're wired for, and that's what we need to do.
I think what you're creating here it affects so many people. I might cry. I'm not gonna cry. But thank you for having
It was fun to
us
have you
here.
always, Wen-Jay, and it sounds squishy, and people are, what does that mean? But we need an economy based on love, and full stop.
And Hawthorne is a place that you can feel how leading with love makes a difference in the land around it, the people that come here.
I mean, they're amazing, and there's something in everybody that I work with. There's 200 people, 200 plus, working here, and I see something in everybody that I would like to emulate. You know, they're just like, we're like rough stones in the tumbler, you know, doing the daily bump and grind, and eventually we'll all be polished gems, I hope.
I hope I'm a polished opal. That's my birthstone. But thank you to everyone that works here, wherever you are. Thank you to that cow that gave birth and let me carry her placenta.
She's out there.
Thank you, Hawthorne Valley.